All right, guys, Halloween's around the corner, and so I got to create a custom order for someone, and we're going to do a ghost kind of over a headstone or a gravestone. The plan is there's probably like maybe one ghost up in here with a gravestone and probably another gravestone. Okay, so that's going to be the plan. I don't know, we'll see. This might end up being a tutorial. You'll know because the cover photo will say tutorial, right? So let's get into it. Alright guys, so this is a pretty simple carving. This is a cutoff left over from one of the lion carvings I did a while back. If you guys didn't check out those lion carvings, they were awesome. Be sure to go back and check out those videos. Now this video, I think I'm going to make this a tutorial because it's a fairly easy carve. It's really not too crazy. A few things you guys will need: your protective gear, dust mask. Get yourself some lumber crayons. These are Dixon wood crayons I'm using. I'm going to be using a chainsaw. If you're using an MS 170 or 180 with a smaller bar, that's perfect. If you use a bigger bar, you might have to just finesse it a little more. The other thing you may want is a sander, and I will be using my 4.5-inch angle grinder with it's a finer disc from Sabertooth, and I will also be using my flame bit on a die grinder, and this is the coarse bit, 1/4-inch shaft, 1/2-inch bit. I'll do what I can to put a link down below to everything I'm using or something similar. And yeah, let's get started. All right, so up here, you know, is very thin. This is a wedge cut. All right, guys, get all stuff out of the way. All right, so this is a wedge cut. You guys can see it's kind of like a wedge or a triangle, triangular shaped deal. What I want to do is draw this out. Now I need enough meat for the ghost, so I'm gonna look down the wedge and kind of figure out where I start to get some meat, which is going to be in here. Okay, and draw it on. If you need to print out a picture or draw something up, do that, but this is a nice surface to just start drawing out your design. You know, like I want a ghost head in here, something like that. This piece will have to come off. It's kind of a weird cut piece in here. I'll have to cut that off, but I want to put his hands like this, like he's kind of looking over, you know, the headstone. The gravestone will come here, kind of wrap over. Looking at it, I think this is just going to be a singular headstone. All right. So that'll be it. We're going to follow that line and sort of cut this out. I'm going to leave meat on the bottom so I can detail up here, and then we'll cut these sides out after. But let's figure out where his eyes are going to be. Okay. And that mouth, just a round mouth. I got that round head. Now I'm going to put RIP in here, right? For rest in peace. Okay. So that's going to be it. That's going to be the piece we're carving out, guys. Again, make sure your saws are full, chains are sharp, and get your safety gear on, and we'll start making some cuts. Now, I might not talk through all these cuts because I think they should really explain themselves as we get going in this. But, you know, as I can, I'll stop and I'll walk you guys through it. Alright guys, as we get into cutting the arms out, we're plunging in about 3/4 of an inch and at an angle. A little bit of an angle coming in kind of from the side so we can round over those arms later. We don't want like sharp edges on the ghost, we want them to be smooth and rounded. I'm kind of going at it, cutting the arms out here. I've got this roughed out, and all I'm doing is angle cutting so it can be rounded. You think about a ghost, you think he's like got this round shape. There's no hard edges, everything's smoothed over. So we're rounding all those edges, and then we're going to come in here and cut where the top of the tombstone is, and we got to bring it down here as well. Now on this side, I didn't cut all the way through. I left some material here, so we're going to try to make like a little rounded tail, you know, kind of kicking out, sort of like Casper, right? It's got the head, the body, the arms, and he kicks out with a little tail. So that's what I'm going to be going for. Let's do this, get in here, and see what we got. I'm going to make this cut about 1 inch in or so. Probably total would be like 1.5 inches when done. That head will stick over the headstone or the gravestone in the end. Here we're cutting into that line, removing the material because we want the arms and the hands to be sticking out farther than the gravestone. So we got to remove the material so that we can get that 3-dimensional look. Back to the head, making a slight angled cut down to that first line. So now the head rounds down, and then we're going to start removing that material underneath it. The head's not going to stick a ton over it. I guess it'll kind of be even with the top of the gravestone, you know? But you got to remove that material so that it's got that, you know, the look. The light look. Right, our basic shape, our ghost in the tombstone. So as you can see, getting in here can be a difficult part, but you got that line you originally made and cut in at an angle, cut in at an angle. So at this time, we can keep using the same saw. We're gonna spin it around to the back. So here's that arm, and I cut it down here to where the tail is gonna be. So what we'll do is we'll put this on its angle so you guys can see. I'll make this cut just a little bit deeper, angled. I'll come through with my saw this way and start removing this, so the ghost is more three-dimensional on the back.
Right, yeah, see that? So in order to keep it from being super tippy, when it's on a full flat surface, we won't remove any more back here, and that'll keep them from wanting to tip back too much further. From here, we're going to start rounding the tail.
Tail's done, the back's done. Right? Chainsaw work complete. We could bust out that crayon.
Get our eyes.
This is where you guys can use just the flame bit to do this. You can get in here and do your letters and things like that, okay? You really can. You take your time, come in here, do your letters, take this as well, go around and hone these eyes out. Because I know not everybody can get a dime tip bar. But if you have a saw with a dime tip bar, now's the time to grab it. Makes life a little bit easier, but it costs a little bit of money. Let's go ahead and let's do these eyes. You'll take the dime tip, well, let's start with the letters. Just gonna plunge in a little bit.
As far as the depth for the letters, we're going in like half an inch, 3/4 of an inch at most. We're not going super deep, so when we come through that flame burst after, we can just sort of clean it up and round it out. We don't need to go super deep here.
The letters are done. This is how you can do that. Now there is a little bit easier tool for putting these concaves in, and that is this ball. All right, this is the coarse grit ball from Sabertooth. I believe it's the 1.25 inch ball, and this thing's pretty aggressive, but you could use this instead of a dime tip bar as well. If you don't have a dime tip bar, I know I said the flame bit. Flame bit works great for the letters and like outlining it if you want to do that. But this, boy, I'd say this seems to be the tool to really get in here. Now this is a pretty new new burr for me from Sabertooth, so using it for only the second or third time, and I'm already in love with it for making those indents in the face here, the ghost. So I recommend it. We're already almost done, and now it's time to grab your angle grinder with either a flap sander or a Sabertooth disc. I'm going to be using a fine red disc. Actually, it's a medium grit disc from Sabertooth, the red one. And I'm going to work on just getting everything nice and sanded, rounding my ghost, cleaning up chainsaw marks, and making them look nice and smooth. Alright guys, we got the ghost and everything sanded up. I'm going to hit it with the torch real quick. The point of the torch is to get rid of some of the fuzz and fur, and then we're just going to go right ahead and move into some paint. So you guys want to make sure not to burn the ghost too much unless you plan on sanding him all the way back down. Otherwise, it's going to show through the white paint when we paint him white. Alright, now that's all done. I'm going to go ahead and shoot him white, and then we'll shoot the letters black. It all has to dry, and we'll sand off the overspray. Now that that's done, I'm just going to hit it real quick with the brush. The brush knocks off any loose debris from burning. Now it's done. Hit it. Okay, so you got the back painted. My initials are back there as well, like I normally do on a carving. Our white is done for the most part. Now, I'll let this sit fully dry, and then I'll do another coat of white on it before he's 100% done. But at this point, you know, you're done. You guys get the gist of it, right? Well, we're not done. Forgot one other thing. You're gonna paint these eyes and that mouth black. Now, if you get a can that sprays the lines, let's see here if I can show you what I mean. So, this can sprays lines. This can sprays circles. If you can get the paint that sprays the circle for the eyes, it makes your life a whole lot easier. Okay? I gotta go see if I have one. So I got a can that'll spray circles. Black. Makes it way easier. Get it in close. Give it a squirt so you can see how it's gonna run, how it sprays. Work your way around that eye. It's also a good idea to have a rag handy, which I did not grab, so I'll probably have to use my hand because it just wants to run. Or tip it back, use one of your cutoff pieces, and get it to sit kind of level so you don't get any runs. You know, one of these pieces here we cut off from the back. Let's prop them up here a little bit. Okay. Now if you get a full can, this will work. If the can's almost empty, you won't be able to spray upside down. Alright guys, so that's that. He's done. We gotta let him dry though before we can stand him up, otherwise that black paint is just gonna run everywhere. Now you do get a little bit of black splatter on the sides. There's not a whole lot you can do about it. You can take the white, you can always wipe your splatters, come back through, you know, try to throw a little bit of fresh white around there. It's something you're gonna deal with. You know, it's not gonna be perfect unless you bust out a paintbrush and you just paint them all by hand. That's up to you. Alright guys, check it out. There's the ghost over the rest in peace tombstone carving that we've been working on. Hopefully you guys will come out pretty similar. It's a really fun carve, really easy. Use scrap wood if you want, and you know, you can make something that people actually do like to purchase for Halloween. So hope you guys have fun creating this carving. Hope you had fun watching this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe. Make sure to hit all in the bell so you'll be alerted to future videos, and be sure to check out that description below, you guys. I'll post the tools and the bits I'm using. I'll also post a thing to my Teespring where you can buy t-shirts and coffee cups and stickers and a whole mess of stuff I've been designing and coming up with. You guys can also check out my Etsy page where I sell some of the work like this and bears and things like that. On top of those awesome features, you guys can follow me on social media. Instagram is the place to be, so you guys go there, check out my Instagram account, you see what I'm working on day to day. And again, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.